Hello, welcome to One Africa Mission with your brother Dobia and Zanse. Please, if you are new here, please subscribe to our YouTube channel, One Africa Mission, and also follow us on Facebook, One Africa Mission. We are missionaries, we are young Africans, and our mission is to see the unity of Africa, the unification of Africa, because as young Africans, we believe that without unity among us, Africa is going nowhere. Me and you today know that we deserve better as Africans. As young Africans, me and you know that we deserve better. And the only way we can get this is for us to fight for the unity of Africa. If Africa is united, we can use the resources of Africa for the good of African citizens and the continent of Africa. But as long as Africa is not united, as long as Africa is divided into this Berlin conference petition of Africa, then Africa will continue to be a continent of subjugation, a continent of disrespect, a continent of dehumanization, a continent of disrespect. But if we want to bring an end to this, then we must do everything we can as young Africans to unite Africa, to fight for the unity of Africa. So please, join the struggle. There are a lot and numerous groups out there who are fighting tirelessly, day in and day out, for this unity, for this unification of Africa. Many groups I can't count, but there are some that I know. Emancipation of Africa, Africans, Continental Revolution, Organic African Paradigm, ACUP. ACUP is a political movement that is more than ready to take Africa to the next level. So please, you can join any of this group. There is a One Map Africa with brilliant ideas to demolish, dismantle the borders that was created in Berlin among us. One Map Africa. You can join any of these groups. And then to the leadership of those groups too, I call on you, please, bring these groups together. Put aside all different ideas and bring these groups. At the end of the day, we are all fighting for one idea. We are all fighting for one mission. We are all in one mission. Our mission is to see a united Africa. So if all of us have one idea, and that idea is for the unification of Africa, why not bring all these brilliant ideas that you have together, so that together we can forge, we can come out with one movement, strong voice, so that we can move towards this unification of Africa. Yes, we can do it if we come together. We shouldn't allow history to repeat itself, because remember, history will tell us that if there was not anything like Moravia and Casablanca group, if our ancestors didn't have Moravia and Casablanca group, they would have achieved the aim of a united Africa. But because they were divided, that was the reason why they couldn't achieve this. Even though the two groups, the Moravia and then Casablanca group, they all know that a united Africa was the only solution to them. But some of them were saying we should do this, some of them different ideologies. And then at the end of the day, they couldn't achieve what they intended to. So they handed the baton to us. We must learn from their mistakes to be able to carry this baton to the last, to the end point. And what can we do? Bring all these groups together. I keep repeating it. Please, bring all these groups together. There are brilliant ideas when you listen to different groups. Brilliant minds. Why not bring all these minds together, so that together we can move forward with one voice and fight for this unity? It's frustrating, and it's frustrating that we are trying to repeat the same mistakes of our forefathers. So please, I call on you, leadership, to consider this. I'm begging you, please consider this, so that together we can move together, move to the African Union, and tell them what we want for Africa. And I'm sure they too, today, they also know, they can also see that there is a wind of change that is coming out. Everybody can see it. So we are leading the way, and then we must unite to be able to achieve this. I thank you very much for coming around. Yes, sir, today we are going to Tunisia, and then we are going to talk about the racist behavior of the Tunisian president. When leadership fail, this is what they tend to do. you have been put in office to change the condition of your people, and I'm talking about the president of Tunisia, and then you came in, you failed. So instead of you to come out with policies that will help your people, now you now turn and then putting the blames on sub-Saharan Africans and other Africans. And the annoying thing is that this president, coconut head president, who looked like a guinea fowl, is talking about Africans trying to change the demography of Tunisia. I don't know when he said that what he mean by that. Africans, sub-Saharan Africa or black Africans trying to change the demography of Tunisia to look like a typical African country, to change their culture from Arabia to a typical African country. And he's kind of like trying to put it as if like an invasion. They are invading Tunisia to change the demography of Tunisia. You are rather trying to change the demography of Africa, because Tunisia is an African country. Tunisia is an African country. So if you are not happy with being an African, you get out. Go to where you come from. If you are in Africa, and this is a warning to people like him, if you are in Africa and then you think that you are not happy being an African, then get out. Go to where you think you belong to. Because North Africa, you people cannot change the demography of Africa. You are talking about changing the demography of Tunisia. You are rather changing the demography of Africa, because you people came in and then changed the demography of that part of Africa. And today you are telling us that we want to change the demography of Tunisia. What is the demography of Tunisia? How does Tunisia look like? Is Tunisia not Africa? If you are in Africa and then you think that you are not happy or you don't want to see other Africans, then get out. Go to where you think you belong, because you not belong to Africa. If you are not happy, get out. People who are happy will take over from you. There are Tunisians who are lighter than you, who are happy to see themselves as Africans. So get out and let them take over from you, Mr. President. You have failed woefully. And the only way you think you can salvage your name is to attack other Africans, divide and rule tactics. Those things are long gone. This is a new dawn for Africa. We keep telling you people are not getting it. It is a new dawn for Africa. Can't you see that citizens of your country who look lighter than you, they are on the street demonstrating, and they are telling you that they don't want that racist behavior from you. We are all Africans. Let's watch the video and see.
An official ban on their protest against the president and took to the streets to demand an end to racism against Africans that is being perpetuated by the government.
There is no place for racism in a country that has managed to fight its way to freedom after years of dictatorship. And definitely there's no space for racism in our administrations, in our president's speech and stance. And there's no space for violence for anyone, Tunisians and non-Tunisians. This is a land that should be open for everyone.
اليوم عن القضايا المتعلقة بالآفاق. نحن آثرنا على أنفسنا وقت الكوفيد نوزع الأدوية ونوزع على الآفاق، ونحن نرتز بانتمائنا الإفريقي، ولكن هم بطبيعة الحال تأويلهم اليوم هم يغيروا التركيبة الديموغرافية لتونس. اليوم عن القضايا المتعلقة بالآفاق. نحن آثرنا على أنفسنا وقت الكوفيد نوزع الأدوية ونوزع على
Today, the African Union cancelled a conference it had planned to hold in Tunisia later this month, after criticizing the government over attacks on migrants in the country. Tunisia's president has ruled the country by decree after dissolving parliament, dismissing the government.
So as you can see in that particular video, Tunisian, you see, it is exciting today to be African. It is so exciting today because in the past, if this coconut head, guinea fowl head president has said this in the past, you're gonna see everybody, majority of the citizens would have come out in support of him. But today, majority of the citizens are against what he's saying. It is only some few lunatics who are supporting what he's saying, but the majority are against that, and they are Black Lives Matter. You can see they are out there. They are protesting, and they are telling him, we don't want this. We are all Africans. If you think because of your lack of melanin, if you think because of your lack of melanin, you don't see yourself to be African, then get out of Africa. There are people who are lighter than you, then they will take over from you, and they are proud to be Africans. There are Tunisians who are more lighter than you, who are so proud to see themselves as Africans. So if you think that you are not African, Mr. President, whatever your name is, then get out. Go to wherever you think your ancestors came from. Go and stay there, because you came to Africa. You changed the demography of North Africa. We don't have problem with that. And today you are telling us that we want to change the demography of Tunisia. What do you mean by that? What do you mean by changing the demography of Tunisia? From Arabia to a typical African country. The entire North Africa, you people have been deluded by the West to think that North Africa is not part of Africa. It is a big shame on you, and it is a big lie for you to think that North Africa is not part of Africa. North Africa has always been Africa, and it will always be Africa. If it is because of the civilization that our forefathers created, when your forefathers came to invade North Africa, and then we ran away from and left it for you. Today you are doing everything you can to make it look like North Africa is not part of Africa. Then lie. We will not take it anymore. If you are not happy, Mr. President, then get out. Go back to where you think your forefathers come from. You will be happy there. And then we will be happy in our continent. Africa belongs to the people of Africa, irrespective of your color, irrespective of the level of your melanin. Africa belongs to the people of Africa. And Africa is so diverse. There are people with lighter skin. There are people with darker skin. There are people with whatever. They are all African people. So if you think because you have been diluted, you have been lied to because of your lighter skin, that you are superior, and then you don't want other Africans to come to Tunisia, then get out. Go to where you think you will be happy. If you're not happy in Africa, go to where you think you'll be happy. Because Africa doesn't need unhappy people like you, Mr. President. Look at you. Look at him. Look at how he looks. Like guinea fowl. So unhappy. Africa doesn't need people like you. We are sick and tired of people who always want to go on this divide and rule tactics. No. Today, there are citizens of Tunisia who are working hard to see a united Africa. They are young Tunisians. They are young people from North Africa who are working tirelessly to see a united Africa, because they know we are all suffering. So just purposely because the European Union or the Europeans are giving you little money to farm for them, because that is what they want you to, that's what you are doing, farming for them. So because you are getting that little money to farm for them, you think you are not African, or you think you are doing better. No, you are not doing any better. Mr. Tunisian President, Mr. Guinea Fowl, you are not doing nothing better. No, your country is not doing better than any African country. We are all speaking the same language, and this is the language of suffering and disrespect. The other day I met a guy from Morocco. He told me what like life in Morocco. And yet those out there, they think they are better than other African countries. No, we will not take it anymore. And then we thank the African Union. You see, these people should know that it is a new dawn for Africa. Because even before, if he has said something like this, the African Union will not say nothing. The African Union will be quiet. But today, every little stupid thing you do in Africa, the African Union will come in, because the African Union represents the entire continent of Africa. So what did the African Union say? The African Union was supposed to have a meeting in Tunisia, a summit, but it has been cancelled. And then we even demand for more sanctions for leaders who try to behave like the way the Tunisian president behaved. So that we're getting this from Al Jazeera News. What did he say? African Union postponed Tunisia meeting after racist attacks. So the African Union has postponed a conference that was due to take place in Tunisia this month. Bloomberg report that racism over a government crackdown and racial attacks against sub-Saharan Africans an African Union spokeswoman told a news agency by text message on Monday that the conference on fighting illicit financial flows in Africa, scheduled for mid-March, has been postponed. No new host country has been chosen for the meeting. The African Union issued a statement on February 24th, urging Tunisia to refrain from racialized hate speech that could bring people to harm. The African Union is no more ready to take nonsense from nobody. And as we said, we are demanding even more, because we have not been demanding for sanctions against this kind of behavior from individuals, lunatics like him. That is why you see more people doing that. Today, if any African leader thinks that he can just come out and pass this kind of racial comments against other Africans, then African Union has to do something, put sanctions on him. If you are not happy to be part, do not even come to the African Union. What are you doing in the African Union? When we have African Union Summit, you are out there with other African countries' leaders. And then yet, you think that other people are coming to change the demography of Tunisia. Haven't you guys changed the demography of Tunisia already? You are talking about changing the demography of Tunisia. We are talking about you have changed a demography of an entire part of Africa. So if you are not happy today, get out. There are people in Tunisia who are so happy to see themselves as African people. They are so happy to see themselves as African people, and they are just like you. So they are happy. If you are not happy, go to where you think you belong and then let them take over from you. If you have failed in your duty to provide better governance for your people, do not put it on other African citizens. You were put there to give your people a better life. And then if you have failed, apologize to your people and do not put it on other sub-Saharan Africans. If you are not happy as a president, get out. Go to where you think you will be happy. You want to be Arabian, go to Arabia. Who cares? Who cares? We don't even need you. We have enough of people in Africa. You are nobody to come and then tell us that people are going to change the demography of Tunisia. If you are not happy, get out. Africa doesn't need people like you in this 21st century, Mr. Tunisia president. This is a warning to people like you who think that they can, in this 21st century, come out and then be talking, vomiting rubbish like this. We don't need it anymore in Africa. As I said, there are people, genuine, beautiful Tunisians who are happy to be Africans. So if you are not happy, get out from that office. They will take over and they will make Tunisia and Africa a better place for all of us. God bless Africa. God bless Tunisia. God bless all of us. I thank you very much for coming around. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel, One Africa Mission. As I keep saying, we are missionaries and our mission is to see the unity of Africa, the unification of Africa, and to get people like him, the Tunisian president, out of Africa. I thank you very much for coming around.